What's going on YouTube? WildLion Games here, and I'm bringing you an honest review about a mobile tennis game made by the same creators of Retro Bowl and Retro Bowl College. They've also produced Retro Goal and New Star GP, which is an F1 type of game. Retro Slam Tennis. It's been out for a while in New Zealand and Australia, but it finally hit the worldwide market last week, and I've already spent a lot of time on this title. Can the New Star Games development team capture the same magic they did with Retro Bowl, or is this new tennis game a fault? Let's jump in. Graphics up first, and I don't know what needs to be talked about here. You can see the graphics are the same old school 8-bit style that we're accustomed to with the New Star game titles. In my several hours of playtime, I haven't noticed any glitches or bugs or frame rate dips or just general lag on my phone. Where New Star Games excels with their retro style graphics is actually in the attention to detail and the crispness of the color contrast. On the court, you'll notice your tennis bag and Gatorade bottle off to the side. The line judge is sitting in his chair. The ball boys and girls are crouched down by the net. Small effects like a temporary hit shadow on the court when the ball bounces and the splash effect when the ball comes off the racket goes a long way. You may not be consciously observing these things as you're playing the game, but it's what brings the game to life and immerses you in the atmosphere. Without them, I would argue that you would feel something is off. The clarity of the pixels and contrasting colors prevent objects from bleeding into each other, which happens frequently in many of these pixel style games. All in all, graphics are good. Sound. The sound design is simple. There's no dialogue or commentary or voiceover. It's the same menu music we've heard before, and all of that's fine. The audio feedback when making contact with the ball is good, and the crowd cheers are clean. They don't sound tinny. There's no need to elongate this section. If you've played, any of the other retro games or like an NES title, the sounds are going to be reminiscent of that. Gameplay. Anything in the tennis or ping pong realm, I've always thought have been tough to replicate in a fun manner when it comes to mobile. Oftentimes, the control setup is clunky or it's trying to do too much and be too simulation based on a small touchscreen surface. I haven't found a tennis game that I like that has been able to make it fun on mobile until now. Once again, New Star Games has found the recipe to provide depth without going overboard and keeping things fun and moving quickly. The developers obviously understand you are typically playing mobile games on the go or in short bursts, and they have designed Retro Slam Tennis to accommodate that style of play without losing quality. The control setup for Retro Slam is simple. Your player will automatically run to the ball, and when it arrives, you pull down on the screen to add power and aim your shot. If you're familiar with throwing the ball in Retro Bowl, this functions the same way, but now vertically instead of horizontal. The further you pull back, the more power you have in your shot, and then you move left or right to adjust your aim. After aiming, a tennis ball is going to fly across the screen, and then you have to tap to hit the ball. Where you tap the ball is how your racket makes contact. Hit the sides for a slice or the top for topspin, swipe up on the screen for a lob shot. In some instances, when the pressure is high, say your opponent has match point, the ball will actually fly across the screen much faster and be smaller, leaving you with less reaction time and less surface space to hit your mark. There are cases where your player isn't fast enough to get to the ball after the opponent hits it, but for the most part, he's a capable athlete right out the gate. And these types of things can be improved through upgrades. As you level up your player, you earn attribute points to distribute. Upgrading speed allows you to get to the ball faster. Upgrading power gives you more power behind the ball when you hit it. Improving focus will slow down the tennis ball and increase the size during those high clutch moments. Spin improves the intensity of the spin, and fitness will actually improve your ability to recover between games and the amount of energy spent while traveling. Every time you travel for a tournament, you spend a little bit of energy. Some tournaments are more energy consuming than others, and tournaments can also provide you with various prize money and entry fees, so be sure to keep all of that in mind when you're choosing where to travel next. Every match also consumes a little bit of energy, and as you lose energy, your attributes will start to decline ever so slightly, so the more tired you are, the worse you're going to play. You can improve your energy by resting, where you just skip out on traveling for a tournament, or you can drink some energy drinks. Different flavors provide different amounts of energy. You can buy energy drinks on the App Store with real-life money. There's no way to buy energy drinks with the money earned in the game, however. If you're a cheap ass like myself, I just watch the 15-second ads if I really need an energy drink to keep playing. It doesn't regenerate over time like many mobile games with this type of feature, where you can not play for 24 hours and the energy regains. You don't regain energy. The levels are going to be the same as they were when you left them. It's my only gripe with the game. I don't know why they didn't make it possible to buy energy with in-game currency and only using real-life money. But I do enjoy the resting part of the game because I believe it creates a strategy of how you approach your season and makes it a little bit more realistic. And I guess with all of this, we're kind of starting to blend gameplay with career mode, so let's go ahead and fully transition into career mode. New Star Games has once again found the formula for creating a career or franchise mode that has depth without weighing you down with too many micro decisions to make. Your player has a lot to manage as a superstar, his skills and his energy for one, which we talked about in gameplay, but also your off the field life with friends and family, sponsorships, social media, and even relationships. Friends, family, and romantic relationships have a direct correlation to your player's happiness, and the happier your player, the less likely he will fall behind in sets. Keeping your player happy with strong relationships is as simple as a phone call to hang out with them. Hanging out with your friends or family will consume 25% of your energy, so a trade-off for better happiness. Relationships are the same, and you have to date in order to find a partner, but as a 16-year-old tennis prodigy, I got my mind focused elsewhere. Dating can wait, right? Your social media influence goes up based on your performance, and you can boost it with lifestyle purchases like a scooter or an iPad or maybe an apartment. These are all tier 1 unlocks with more tiers to unlock more stuff, but again, I'm a 16-year-old tennis prodigy. I'm focused. I don't need the distractions of an iPad right now. Another way to boost your stats is by training. You can play training minigames which are surprisingly varied, which is important. I often feel sports titles that add training into their games as a way to earn XP and level up are dry and monotonous and routine. New Star Games has kept things pretty fresh to a degree with varying minigames like practicing your serves, hitting slices, or trying to hit designated spots on the court. You can also buy new equipment like shoes and rackets and clothes that provide various stat boosts for a certain amount of games. Like these Lion Converse shoes for $240 will add 2 speed and a 1.5 point multiplier for followers for the next 15 matches. With what I'm earning at tournaments right now, I don't think that's a wise investment, but maybe the $40 pair of leopards for 10 matches is a better investment. There's a lot you can do in Retro Slam Tennis, and you can navigate it all very quickly and move from tourney to tourney with ease. I know it sounds like you're juggling a lot, but I promise it's handled very well, allowing you to get back into playing tennis quickly. I enjoy the way relationships and happiness is handled and implemented in the game. It feels natural and honestly pretty realistic. Life is always about a million choices, and sometimes you have to sacrifice going out with friends in order to work on your craft. Or sometimes it's the opposite. You just need to step away and see your friends for a mood boost before going back to work. I love the energy implementation of the season. Playing and traveling around the world is exhausting, it's tiring, and some weekends you may look at the tournaments and think, I'm gonna stay home and rest up. Which being able to look at the calendar allows you to game plan that approach as well. So for example, here I have 26% energy with a couple of good tournaments to choose from. I could rest, but I can also look ahead and see that next week is a Grand Slam and I'm too early in my career. I'm not invited to that. So I should drink an energy drink now and then rest up next weekend since I'll have to take off anyways. New Star Game crushed it with career mode and I'm enjoying it very much right now. And last but not least is like an odd category, but historical stat tracking. You can not only view your season stats, but career stats as well, from age, seasons completed, events won, and all the way to events won on different surfaces like grass or clay, and how many finals you've reached, and how many events you've won and played in, etc. I hope that in the future we can get league-wide historical stats with previous year's winners, and where you rank among Grand Slam wins and more, almost like a tennis Hall of Fame or something like that. So, as you guys know, I rate my games on a made-up scale with zero continuity besides my own self-fulfilling humor, but I promise it is accurate and relatable. So, how do I obscurely rate Retro Slam Tennis? I give Retro Slam Tennis mid-2000s EA Sports. The mid-2000s EA Sports games were the golden era of sports video games. The gameplay was fun, features were well implemented, and the general game design of the games were built with the players in mind. This was back in a time where it felt like games were made with passion and love, whereas many modern titles, not just sports titles, feel soulless and lack creativity. Retro Slam Tennis was made with passion. The gameplay is fun, the features are well implemented, and the general gameplay loop in career mode is naturally addicting, unlike many modern mobile games which create addiction through loot boxes. New Star Games is in their golden era of game development too. Retro Bowl is their star player, and it has grown into Retro Bowl College and an NFLPA licensed version of the game on Apple Pro Play. Retro Goal is also a fun and in-depth soccer game, and New Star GP is a great arcade F1 racer. They are absolutely crushing it, and you can tell these are games made by people who want to develop them and then also play them. Retro Slam Tennis is free. Download it now on the App Store. It is definitely worth spending your time playing that, and you'll get a lot of fun out of it. That's it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. I review sports games on this channel and talk about other things sports title related. If you stayed it this far, I appreciate it. Comment down below if you're thinking about getting the game or what your thoughts are if you have played it. Until next time, peace.